What's up, man? How are y'all doing? I was watching a video on TikTok and it was this kid that was like really mad at Trippie Redd or whatever, right? And throughout the video, you know, he's just giving his reasons like, oh, he threw the mic in the air, he cut the show short, he barely performed, he barely moved around, yada, 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 so on and so forth. That's not why we're here though. There's a certain part in the video that really caught my attention. I'm gonna play it for you real quick.
No, bro, this shit is really bad. He had 3 guests, no 4, and one of them included Lil Xan and MGK. What the fuck?
So that part where he just goes like, oh, MGK, I was just like, it really made me think. I was just like, why do people hate MGK so much, right? Like MGK is very successful, you know, sold out tours, but whenever I see anybody talk about him online, it's nothing but disrespect. And it just got me thinking like, number one, why do people hate this man so much? And then number two, like people obviously listen to his music. So it's just kind of like, why do people hate this dude so much? Like, and you know, I've heard little stuff, but I really had to like go in depth and like find out why people actually genuinely don't like this guy. So in order to do that, we got to go back to 2009.
Yo, Jake, and you and Matt. Cool. Hey.
Jenkins.
Well, this summer's hottest party in LA at the Real Life Sunkiss Club ON and party down with the mystery celeb DJ. Go to orangenation.mtv.com now to enter.
My name is Machine Gun Kelly. I'm a 21-year-old kid from Cleveland, Ohio, chasing a dream. Got a great fan base.
MGK's garbage.
Wait, why?
Because he can't rap. He came and he said a rap. He said, your beard is weird. Name a bar from that song. That shit is garbage.
Lollapalooza, Bonnaroo, Osheaga. Who is putting Machine Gun Kelly next to Dua Lipa and Stevie Nicks, Doja Cat, and Lil Baby? What is going on? Who's behind this? I go to the movies to see the new Jackass, I'm loving it, and then this buzzkill shows up, and I literally hear people in the audience groaning. I scroll down TikTok and I see him, a 31-year-old man, whining about people saying that he's not really emo.
MGK, aka Machine Gun Kelly, has done quite a bit for very, very modern rock and pop punk and tried to push it into the mainstream. But before all of that, in fact, as far back as 2010, he would release 100 Words in Running, and apparently this took him up because it encapsulated a certain type of swag at the time in Cleveland, with it being that crunk, chopper type of rap. It was just a different time. Like, this was like the Lil Jon era of music, Yin Yang Twins, trashy white guys in tank tops with a lot of tattoos, just being trashy for lack of a better word. He had a very specific hype way of rapping in his earlier work, taking inspiration from DMX, Eminem, and Ludacris. Now, when getting bullied at his middle school, I want you guys to keep in mind that he would also listen to Blink-182 and Guns N' Roses, even though he started his career off rapping. At one point, he was kicked out of the house, but in 2010, he would end up on MTV's Sucker Free, and I know most of you don't know what that is, but it was basically like a highlight reel of upcoming and already famous artists that would air for an hour. MGK actually made it onto the show and would even record his live reaction.
Right now, let's get into this. Kelly, check it out.
He just said my name. He just said my name. My bad.
Man, I'm from Cleveland. Bet they know what we claim. Cause we violent, suffer free, and EST is the
Dang, boy! What? Oh my God, we on MTV, son! Holy shit! Holy shit! Oh my God, dude!
After this, it was almost set in stone that MGK was next up, as he would perform at shows including South by Southwest and a show for Fader magazine. He would end up signing a deal, and at this point, he started getting pushed by the label. He would end up on XXL in 2011, along with Hobson, Roscoe Dash, Danny Brown, and Future of all people. Keep in mind, guys, this is back when XXL really mattered. It was definitely more of a staple that you were a serious force in the upcoming space of hip-hop, and he really was. He had huge bangers that still get played to this day, if you could remember, like Wild Boy with Waka Flocka, Till I Die, and See My Tears. I mean, this dude at one point was fighting addiction, homeless, and had a child on the way. To go from all of that to pretty much making it was a massive step for him. His third studio album, Bloom, released May 12, 2017, selling 57,000 copies in the first week. He's doing great at this point, so let's push up to 2018. Something most of you will definitely remember, the Eminem beef. And before I even get into why people dislike him, I do want to say that I don't think what Eminem did made MGK switch genres. MGK was incorporating rock elements way before this beef, and he still ended up dropping a rap album after that beef. So the root of this beef was because MGK tweeted something disrespectful about Eminem's daughter back in 2012, and it eventually surfaced. He would tweet, okay, so I just saw a picture of Eminem's daughter, and I have to say, she is hot as blank, in the most respectful way possible, because Eminem is king. There is literally no proper way he could have said this in a respectful way. I'm gonna be honest at this point, like, he's an upcoming celebrity, so why would you do that? I mean, it was 2012, times were a little different, but it's like, you had to have known that Eminem was going to see that, and he definitely would see it. Eminem didn't like this, so he dissed him because
first when he said, I'm the greatest rapper alive since my favorite rapper banned me from Shade 45 or whatever he said, right? But then when you get on Tech Nine's album and you start sending shots and people start hitting me up, yo, Machine Gun dissed you, he just dissed you, he dissed you. I'm like, I listened to it, I'm like, did he really diss me though? I keep listening to it, yo, this rap, you not gods. And then somebody sends me a screenshot of his Twitter and it says, had some shit to get off my chest, you just rap, you not God, some shit like that. And I was like,
a reference to the Rap Gods song?
Yeah. On the song, he said, y'all just rap, you not God. And on Twitter, he said, you just rap, you not God. Now I'm in this fucking weird thing because I'm like, I gotta answer this. And every time I do that, it makes that person as irrelevant as people say I am in hip hop. Yeah. I make them bigger by getting into this thing where I'm like, I wanna destroy him, but I also don't wanna make him bigger.
And this was arguably one of the biggest issues that happened. He would drop a song called Kill Shot that most people would say is the song that destroyed MGK's rap career. This song is littered with crazy bars, all taking shots at Machine Gun Kelly. But this is not one of his only issues. In fact, this is just scratching the surface for the amount of turmoil that MGK has been involved in. Now, I really don't believe that this is even fair, seeing as how nowadays you really have to be versatile to even stand on 2 feet in the music industry. But one reason people really don't like MGK is because while he did start off rapping and basically backpacked off hip hop, he would then proceed to switch genres into pop punk. Most people like to say that Eminem is the reason for this, but like I said earlier, I really don't think that's the main reason, but Kill Shot was definitely a catalyst in the change. Real fans of punk would absolutely ridicule MGK for switching genres as it was just seen as corny. And now for this video, I did go listen to a lot of MGK's earlier works as far as when he first switched into the genre, and I gotta say, I definitely understand why real fans of punk were, and to this day still are, pretty angry about it, because it's just soulless music, in my opinion. It's not that good. He does dive into his addiction and how sometimes he wanted to delete himself, but you can just tell it wasn't his original genre. Like, he just doesn't even sound right doing the vocals for like punk music, in my opinion. You have to think, the dude making all this music was the same guy who a few years back was just making crunk music and rap music, and those two genres are just so insanely different, it was bound to make some fans mad. Now, I promise you, I'm not trying to defend Machine Gun Kelly because we're gonna get into other things that really make me not like him, but on this topic, I do sort of feel like it's not fair, like I said earlier, because if you're a Lil Wayne fan, you definitely remember the Rebirth era, and while it was hated, nobody was like, oh, you're switching genres, you're so corny. People just didn't like it because it was bad. To them, by the way. Let me clarify that because I liked Rebirth. That's just me though. Either way, MGK switched genres, and to this day, it still makes people really mad, but to be honest, that's nowhere near the main reason why people don't like him. With it honestly just being more so about the kind of person he is, people just don't like him. Now, why do I say this? Think about it, right? Let's say you don't like MGK just because you think his music is trash, right? Now, if you like punk from the early 2000s and 90s like Green Day, Good Charlotte, and Blink-182, you'd be a hypocrite because MGK is literally a clone. He made a #1 album derivative of that exact kind of music, like to a T. Do I think it's good? Absolutely not. But I'm also not a fan of any of those bands I just mentioned, so I'm not a hypocrite. That's why I think people just really don't like MGK. It's just because he's a terrible person, and I'm gonna show you why.
Hey, you wanna know what I'm really happy that I'm not doing? Being 50 years old, wearing a fucking weird mask on a fucking stage. Talking shit. So anyway, what's everyone's favorite candy?
That was a clip of MGK dissing Corey Taylor from Slipknot. Now this is where I'm going to get a little unprofessional. If you see my videos where I have my camera on, you may see the banner behind me of Slipknot that one of my best friends gifted to me because of how much I love Slipknot, which is the band Corey Taylor has been a vocalist of for 2 decades. Dissing Slipknot when you're Machine Gun Kelly is not a good look. Now, I intentionally left out this information, but it's especially not a good look when you diss him at a rock festival. You idiot. You probably won't be able to fathom how many people he pissed off in that moment exactly. Even watching that clip, I just get disgusted. I really do, but not as disgusted as this next thing we're gonna talk about. Machine Gun Kelly should just go ahead and change his name to Machine Gun R. Kelly because the man has said some very odd things that just really doesn't sit right with me. Listen, I'm going to let this next clip speak for itself. Please listen.
Count down the days until she's 18?
I'm not waiting until she's 18. I'll go now. I'm 23, dog. Like, I'm not like a creepy age. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm 23, bro. She's 17 and she's like a celebrity. Like, there is no limits right there.
Yeah. Also,
Black girls give the best head.
I mean, overall, man, it's not a good look, like, at all. Can't forget his weird ass tweets either. And the thing that makes me really not a fan of him is that, like, you know, it's not super common knowledge that this dude is a creep, but people definitely know. If I was able to easily find it by just doing a quick Google search, it's not super uncommon information. I just don't like that he never went and said, like, yeah, I was younger, you know, I was wilding out. Nah, like, he's really standing on business. He doubled down on it by never speaking about this. I feel like that makes it so much worse, low key. Remember when I said after researching why people hate this man that I understood? Hopefully now you understand and you're not gonna let the fact that you like some of his garbage he calls music blind you. Don't let it blind you from the fact that he's weird. Like, really weird. So with all of those things happening with MGK, you think I'd be a little biased on why people dislike him, but my overall take, to be completely honest, is what does all that have to do with me? I'm not trying to be funny when I say that, but it's like, I have to separate music from the artist. Being a fan of mainly underground music, you kind of have to do that with the amount of weirdos in that space. And most of the music MGK makes, to me personally, isn't good. I'm not a huge fan of it, and that's like the nicest way I can say it. I think his shift from being a crunk guy to modern pop punk, it's just too much of a shift. People calling him a poser, corny. I mean, I can't fully sit here and act like I disagree with it. Then you go and diss a legend in the rock world that you're eating off of? No, you don't get to do that. But jokes aside, man, how do y'all feel about Machine Gun Kelly? Do you like him or do you hate him? Discuss in the comments. I read as many of them as I can. Also, I'm throwing a show October 21st in Georgia along with my friends, so be there. Later.